Well, we're trying to make some good time heading down to our other property, which is about 40 minutes from the property we hunt on a lot. You've seen our videos, food plots and everything. We have some nice plots down here too. But one of the greatest strategies that you can employ, especially as it gets into gun season, muzzleloader season, end of November, going into December and going into January, is really following the doe herds and really asking yourself, when I'm going out and sitting tonight or this morning, whenever you're hunting, do I have a reasonable chance of seeing these big doe herds? Because what happens is, on opening day gun season, which around here, mid-November, Michigan, mid-November, a lot of states, November sometime, Pennsylvania, Ohio coming up here pretty soon, those deer really get pushed around, obviously. And it's Wisconsin. I think we have 600,000 plus hunters going out into the woods. And you have opening day, and by that night, by the time it gets dark, there are very few places in the whitetail habitat where there's a low level of hunting pressure. And I believe, and I've experienced for many years, and this going back into the high deer density, fun hunting of the late 80s when it was just, we're teenagers and just going out and having fun and just experiencing and getting to know hunting. But going back to those times, I loved a little bit of snow because we would see what little teeny woodlot the does were heading to, or the big herd was heading to, in the morning hours, afternoon hours, and then we'd go wait for them to come out. Even if we couldn't hunt that woodlot, we knew they were there. We'd wait for them to come out to the ag fields wherever they're feeding. And that is a great strategy that you can really key on this time of year, because what I found is if you have a pile of does and fawns that are coming out, and they're coming out consistently on your land or wherever land you can hunt, then those mature bucks that are in the area will eventually be with them. The reason those does and fawns are there in the first place is because there's security in that location, and there's probably a great food source that they can relate to, whether it's on that property or off that property that they're heading to every single night. Today, the property we're at, there's some new construction going on the neighboring property. We're hoping that settles down over the next week, and we think it will, going into muzzleloader. But for right now, we could hunt up top on that property and get away from that construction, but there's an adjacent cornfield that's still standing about a quarter mile away. So we feel the prospects of seeing a lot of does on that property are limited. This property over here, we haven't hunted up top. We haven't hunted here for a while on our main food source. The adjacent corn, we heard it being harvested yesterday, so we're taking that chance that it is being harvested up in that location. And if it is, that means they're going to push a lot of does back into the woods. That cover's gone, and we're going to be that neighboring woodlot where those deer can hit our food plots and then head out to those cut cornfields or picked cornfields. And I think we can get on some does. That's why we're heading down here. We can't wait to get down here. And we're going to actually bring the rifle this time and might have a little long distance shooting. We're actually going to tuck in on the ground. I think the wind's not going to be great for our redneck. So we're going to be able to tuck back into the ground, a certain spot where we turkey hunt, where we know we have a good vantage of this area. And I'm hoping we're on the does, and if we are, then there's a good chance that one of those mature bucks will be sticking around them. It's still the waning days of the post rut, and could be an exceptional hunt. If you follow those does in November, December, pretty easy to find success.